I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm not.
Ollie, Matty, can you hear me?
Hey up, Clive.
It doesn't really matter. I'm not.
How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good mate. How are you?
I'm all right. I don't know if you can see me or not. I can't see myself. Ollie, Matty, can you hear me?
Hey up, Clive.
It doesn't really matter. I'm not.
How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good mate. How are you? Just turn that off.
Start video. How do we do it?
Right, we're on one place. Good evening, everyone.
Are you all right, Matt?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Good.
Very good. Have you been out much recently?
Yeah, loads, to be honest. It's been dead windy up here.
Yeah, it's been windy up here, loads too, but a bit too much at times. I just went out today. Today's been the first out time I've been out for a while, really. But it was all good.
Where have you been out? What's it called? Allenby.
I went to have a look at Allenby yesterday, and it was a bit offshore. Cameron and a few others went out yesterday, but I wasn't feeling up to it, so I just had a nice easy day yesterday, and then I went out on Bass Lake today, just at the south end. So it was good. It was like 5-8 metre weather. Got played in a few times, so it was good.
Cool.
Introduced 20 years ago, have made the most dramatic changes of all.
Who's got the TV?
You got the telly on?
Oh, that'll be me.
There's always one. Pete's got telly on.
There we go. Not anymore.
How are you, Pete?
I'm fine, thanks, fine.
Hello, guys. Happy New Year.
Pavel.
Bear with me a second, guys. I'm just.
I'm not quite sure. I can't see everybody at the moment. I've got a bit of a weird setup going on here.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
How are we doing?
And I can see you.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's gone.
We can see you and hear you.
Yeah, we can see you, Cam. You good?
Good, thank you.
Can you see us?
I can see you. Can't see anybody else.
That's fine. You just see others talking normally,
Oh, that's
which is normally Matty. Just talk amongst yourselves a minute, guys. I'm just setting up the live stream on YouTube. So, yeah, just give me a second. I'll be with you.
sounds very technical.
Yeah, it is.
On your homes. Should it pop up on your YouTube page, should it?
Yeah.
Is Olli what do you call it? Is OlliAnderson.com supposed to be running yet, or is that?
That's coming, mate. It's coming.
All right, no, just because you've got it on your banner, haven't you? So just click it.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, if someone just goes, Matty, can you go on my YouTube quickly and see if it's working?
I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it.
Can you see it?
Don't know why I'm supposed to look, but is it on?
It shouldn't. I think it should just.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hang on. I get some mad feedback now, to be honest, because I haven't both.
Yeah, make sure you put. I've muted it. I've got it up on.
I am on your Facebook now, Ollie. What do you want?
If someone just goes on the YouTube, Pavel.
YouTube. Okay, YouTube.
I just posted it in Facebook, so it should be. You should be able to click it from the Facebook group.
It is working. I can attest to that.
That's great. Well, we'll forget it. I'll just record it just in case. I'll record this. There it's coming in. Start recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Right then, guys. So first live stream of 2023. That's great. Well, I just is someone playing the live stream through? Was that you, Matty?
What, watching it?
Yeah.
I imagine so. Yeah.
If you're watching it, just mute it.
I have muted it. Yeah. No, I thought you meant. It says one watching now. I was looking at how many people it says are watching.
All right.
It's a little bit weird, isn't it? Because it's all out of sync.
I know. I feel like we're going to break time as we
Open up a wormhole.
I know, we're all going to get sucked into it. Right then, cool guys. So welcome to the first live stream of 2023. Hope everybody had a good New Year, good Christmas.
Yeah.
Plenty of presents, plenty of downtime.
No, we have the best gift was a windy day.
Yeah, some wind. Well, that's good. We also had some good wind here, actually.
Yeah, but it was only the 31st of December, and then nothing.
No, we've had it quite good here, actually, especially on the west side. It's been good, and it's been pretty warm as well, relatively, for the middle of winter. I mean, Matty, we were at West Kirby, weren't we, the other day?
Yeah.
And Jeff was there as well. It was like, I think 11 or 12 degrees.
Yeah, it was lovely.
So, I mean, it was nice. I didn't have boots on.
No gloves, no hat.
Unbearable.
At our place was -5 and heavy snow.
Yeah, I was just watching your video earlier that you put in the group, and I was making some notes. And the first note I put is very brave.
Yeah.
The video starts with like thick snow.
Yeah, but it was nothing there. This was perhaps 10 centimeters or something, but now it's 1 meter or so. So we could perhaps go and sail yesterday also, but it was. We have to dig the roads to the sea, and then hope that there was no ice on the sea. So then we drop it. But I have one colleague who wants to sail all the winter through, so at least one time a month.
Yeah.
He has all months in a year of sailing, so I don't have problems to find somebody to sail with. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're all brave then. See where the dry suit's needed.
Yeah.
Right then, we'll start getting into some of these videos. Welcome to everybody that just joined. Alex, Sarah, Paul, good to see you all. Any questions at all from anybody, just give me a shout. So first thing, we'll come back to this a little bit later. We'll get into the first video. Let's have a look at this one. This is, I just think, Matt, is anybody in particular here, or are we just sort of general filming?
Just generally. Which one is it? Oh, that was just
down the wall.
Yeah, I just got the camera out because there were so many people blasting back and two that I thought it just made. I could follow somebody with the drone as well.
Yeah, so for anybody that still hasn't yet sailed West Kirby and wants to know what it's like, this is the best, I think, angle
direction,
what it's like, and the direction also for the wind, because you can go up and down the wall all day. Like you see, it's about as close to completely flat as you're going to get.
But was this place built specially for windsurfers, or what is it?
I don't know, actually.
No, it's built for sailing. Is it
sailing, Matty?
Yeah, for dinghies and that, I think. For teaching, because on the estuary, there's not enough. The tide doesn't come in for long enough for the sailing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's only 1 meter deep, so how we can sail with no boats or something?
Well, they do. They sail little toppers and things like that around.
Just a little boats, Pavel.
Okay.
Not big yachts.
No. Cruise liner.
Yeah, but it looks like perfect thing for windsurfing, at least, and freestyling.
Yeah, for freestyle, it's perfect, Pavel. Like the perfect spot, because you have the good thing about sailing a place like this is you have exactly the same condition every time you go down the wall, so you can really think about what you're doing, as opposed to looking for a flat bit of water, and the wind's very consistent here as well. Normally, you don't have to worry about that either. But yeah,
is it always ridiculously busy?
What was that? Sorry.
Is it always ridiculously busy?
Yeah.
No. I'd say no.
You not think so? I think it's pretty busy all the time, to be honest.
Every time I see pictures of it, it seems like everyone's about to crash into each other.
Yeah. I mean, last time we were there, we were there, Matty, Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Even that we're not loads of people, but it did feel quite busy. But everybody's in enough control that I've never seen anybody crash into each other there.
Oh, I have.
But all of them looks like speed junkies all together.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed. It's speed junkies freestylers mostly.
Okay. Oh, okay, this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like for learning to carve jibe. Even if you sail not right up against the wall and you sail off it a little bit, like where that guy is, just back there.
Yeah, there's plenty of other places you can sail. You don't have to go up and down the wall. It's just people trying to get over. Everybody just wants to go up and down the wall.
Yeah, everybody's wants
You
to
don't,
be.
in fairness, you don't get that many chances. It does. You don't get these conditions that often. A lot of the time, you're sailing at a different angle.
Yeah, like there's a windsurfer down there, and it's still a lot flatter on the other side than it is in most spots. So you can still come and not sail at the wall all the time and still have a really good session.
But is it only here in the middle of this wall, or you can sail farther up or down?
Yeah, you sail further up and down. Sail anywhere within the lake.
When you see it, if you go back, if you scroll it back, Ollie, to the beginning, you'll see the drone footage. You'll see
yeah, that's a good idea.
You get a better idea of how big it is.
But it looks like swimming pool.
Yeah, it really is like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to want to sail beside the road.
Yeah,
that's like the furthest downwind point.
The wind's a bit rubbish next to because of all the buildings.
Oh, right, right.
Bounces back, and if you crash for anything, you're just gonna get pushed onto the wall.
Okay, yeah.
You see, it's a good spot. It is essentially a swimming pool. It's never more than like this deep.
But the water, it looks like water.
The jibe at this end looks like it's a good opportunity to spray some passers-by, doesn't it?
It is, Clive. It's a very good ego boosting spot.
Yeah, I bet.
Sail very close to some passers-by and look as cool as possible.
Do a nice little carve and just wet them as you go around the corner.
Just spray them.
But why is the water staying here despite the tide?
Well, good question. Another tide. If the tide's big enough, Pavel, it will come over the wall. But
this is a water tight. Everything here.
Yeah, this here on this side, this is an estuary, so it does fill up on this side as well, and it will come over sometimes.
Okay.
When the tide comes in, Pavel, you can just go over the path and sail across the estuary, and then when the tide starts going out, you just drag your kit back into the pond, effectively.
Okay, so this is a real pond. It's not just open on the end or something.
No, this is like completely closed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when the tide's in, you can sail on this side where the cursor is as well.
Yeah. No, it looks perfect. Perfect for windsurfing.
It is, yeah. I won't go watch too much of the video. We'll
just
on. I'll go a quick look through this one, Pavel.
Okay.
Greg's not it. No, Greg's not doing
As you can see, this isn't my ideal windsurfing conditions. Doing it in snow. But it's brave, man.
Okay, I'm used to it, so it's not the first time, but okay. It was after Christmas, so my harness didn't fit, so I had to loosen that up. I couldn't make it.
Great. Too many mince pies.
Yeah. And I was talking about these meats I have fixed, so...
Yeah. And then I think you forgot to put the zipper up.
Yeah, if you stop at the beginning... So, okay, you see here, if you stop here, you see that the zip is opened.
Oh, no. Did he get much water inside?
Yeah, I was quite wet in the back. Yeah, but after I closed it, so there was no problem. I have warmed it a little bit up, so I was sailing 2 hours this day. So.
Oh, okay, it's okay then.
So if I don't get more water, then it won't cool me down so much. So
yeah.
And I could also, thanks to that, I have this monoline, so I can easily adjust them, even mono without thumbs.
Yeah, it's quite good, the mono lines, for that reason, actually. They are very easy to move about. Is that your son, on the other equipment?
No, this is my colleague who wants to sail all the year through, each one time, at least each month. So no.
It's a lovely shot with the sun in the background.
Yeah. Oh, this was just to show him actually. So I just did the tack and just I didn't have much movie with him on. Yeah.
I'll just swap it in a little bit. It's a nice duck jibe at the start here. This is good.
This was not. I haven't. Otherwise, it was only. I was not in a good form for Vulcan, but I had several tries. But
yeah, I must say, the entrance is better, Pavel, because there's not so much bouncing around going on.
Yeah. I've tried to concentrate on this.
Yeah, this one here, you cut it off, but it looks really good because the board's rotating quite fast, which means your entrance is really good.
Yeah, but I'm still doing something wrong with my balance, so I still land on the back and go back in the water.
Yeah, I'll maybe work on trying to push through the back foot, so try and push the back foot out away from you a little bit more. That'll help you, because it'll help you stay over the middle of the board as well. At the minute you're landing, and because you're quite upright, it's easy to fall either onto the heels, which is what's normally happening for you because you fall off the back, or onto the toes. But you want to try and keep the board completely flat. If you're going for a stock, you'd want to rail it a little bit and you carve it to get it up into the wind. But for the Vulcan, you want to keep it completely flat so you just slide back in a straight line.
So you suggest to try to make some kind of sliding backwards with right back foot.
Yeah, with your back leg, try and push the board. So try and create as much distance between the tail of the board and the boom.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Try to lie like as flat as possible.
No, it's a good idea. Yeah, okay. I have to try it.
And because the lower you are, then the harder it is for you to rail the board from side to side. The more upright you are, the easier it is for you to go from back. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
So just I would try and think about as you come around, try and push the back foot away from you as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
It does look a little bit better, Pavel. That does.
Yeah. I've tried to remember this with not pushing the sail, not bouncing.
Yeah.
So.
And then we'll have a look at this one for Matty as well. This is a good one. Some couple of crashes. This isn't. I don't think all of these are Matty. Some of them are. This one we've seen before. That got best crash.
Yeah, they're mostly not me. That's your mate. I can't think of his name. John
Newby, innit?
Yeah, John Newby. Yeah. This is what it's like on the estuary, on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also good. This is what 90% of windsurfing is. I think is just sort of is crashing. This guy's reaction to falling in is fantastic. I love that. Oh.
Straight through the sail. That's Mike. That is.
Is it?
Yeah. That's all.
It's nice to remember when you watch the videos of people landing things. There's a lot more of this going on than landing it.
Well, this is like 80% or 90%, isn't it, really?
I would say, yeah, between 80 and 90% of your windsurfing is crashing. But if you get
this was on the helitax. I fell off there and smacked my nose right on the mast on the way down.
That's
a
great catapult. This one here, duck jibe. For Neil Sims, if you ever watches this, that's what happens when you go too late.
Yeah, he went too late, didn't he, then?
Body drag.
There was a lot of that going on, when Windsurfing TV were talking about body dragging, there was a lot of people trying that.
Stay very tight in your arms. As soon as you start to let the arms come away from you, you'll lose your power in the sail and you'll just get pulled over like that, or you'll just drop in. But yeah, I won't go into that too much either. No. But again, yeah, it's good to remember that's what most of windsurfing is crashing.
I have a bit too
Speaking of crashing.
Yeah, go on. This was you, wasn't it? I sailed past you on this.
For anybody that hasn't seen this yet, this is one of the best Vulcan attempts I've seen. So Matt, you were so you were trying to pop the board, weren't you?
I was trying to pop it, but I didn't put my feet in the straps hard enough. And when I pushed down on my back foot, it just went straight out the strap.
Yeah, and so bear in mind, I'm the windsurfer going in the opposite direction, and I'm watching it. And I'm shouting at him, saying, "Go, Matty, go!" And this is what he does.
This is perfect. Back loop on the flat water.
It's been brilliant if it had stayed in the straps. The flat water back loop.
Matty, I've never seen someone get so much height without the equipment.
You should have seen what it looked like from my perspective, though. It looked like my kit was disappearing off into space.
Yeah, I bet. It's absolute full commitment now, 100% going for it.
It was mental.
But that was a good crash. And this one, Matty, this is such a good attempt for you to be so early on with like you trying your Vulcans. It's a really good spot to be in there. So getting 90 degrees round.
I think if I'd have let go with my backhand, I forgot to let go with my backhand.
Yeah.
I think I'd have got round.
Let go and look behind you.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I was too busy thinking about popping it and spinning it round.
And then also the back on the, I sent you a pic on WhatsApp, I sent you the picture, but tuck the back leg right up into your bum.
Yeah.
And that'll make the board flat. If you don't do that, the board, right, it will rail in the air. The more you tuck up in the back leg, the more you'll level the board flat again.
Yeah. Well, I was just happy with getting round because that's the first time I got past about 90 degrees, really.
Yeah, it's ace.
What are you doing with that, mate? Well, he's getting attacked by a giant ball.
It's ace. No, it's really good. We'll work on that a little bit tomorrow. And then Mr. Cameron. Attempt. Could you give us a little bit of info about what the wind was like and stuff, Cam?
Well, it was slightly offshore, so that was the flattest the water's ever been at Allenby, I think, ever.
Yeah.
But only for the last sort of 50 yards inshore. It was very choppy and overpowered on the outside.
Yeah.
So it just came flying in, and it all felt like it was going all right, and then it suddenly slowed down towards the end.
Like honestly, mate, it looks ace. Your carves, like you cut nice, consistent carve. Your entry is good. The sail's moving across the board really well, just like we did with the flared.
Counterbalancing thing.
Your foot change is nice. Your rig flip, like you said, maybe slightly too late, but it's not massively off. It looks like you've either come into a lull and done it, because it looks to me like there's not loads of speed in the board going into it.
Well, the wind, because that was sort of in the flat bit, the wind was dying the closer to the shore you got. So yeah, I was flying up until maybe 50 yards away. So I was maybe just coasting in there.
Yeah, and it looks like as Cecily says, now you've said it was slightly offshore, and looking at how high it is, it was probably not that windy, like close into the beach.
That bit it wasn't. I was also struggling with this stupid bloody harness.
Yeah,
a waist harness which I've never used before, and a board that I'd never used before as well. So I was.
You've got a lot of different variables like coming in all at once.
Yeah, the board was not a problem because it was just a bigger version of my little one, but the waist harness thing just completely threw me.
Take a little bit of getting used to, I think.
Well, I don't know whether I'm going to bother.
Might go back. Give it a couple of sessions if you haven't already.
I haven't. No, it's the first time I'd used it.
Yeah, I would just give it a couple.
The only time
if you still don't like it, then I'd sack it off. But
the only time it felt good was when I pulled it so far down, the hook was down where my waist harness hook is. That's the only time it felt like it was all right. Other than that, it just kept riding up and up and up, and it felt like it was squeezing the life out of me.
Yeah, make it when you put it on initially, it needs to be very tight.
It was really tight. I was struggling to get it closed, but it just felt like
where was the hook sat, like on your body?
Kind of low down near my belly button, quite low.
Yeah. So the hook should sit on top of the belly button, and it should be tight there.
Yeah, it was, and then it just started going up and up. And
yeah, it's normal after 40 minutes, an hour, you might need to just knock it down a little bit. But it'll be a stance as well, because the stance with the seat harness is very you've sat down like you are in a chair.
Yeah,
because the hook comes from sort of central position here. You can just.
But this depends on harness. I had some old ones, which were, as you said, Olli. But now I have the kind harness for, I don't know, 10 years perhaps, and it is not so. It's staying where it was when it is at the beginning. So some harness can fit very well to your body. So we perhaps to try out several and try to find one which fits exactly your body. Then it will not go up.
Yeah, also definitely a good point. Go on, Cam.
This one feels really comfortable when I put it on, even though it feels really tight. It's comfortable. It's a North one with like a blow-up airbag for your lumbar support, and it feels really comfy. But just when I'm using it, it just rides up and doesn't feel comfy after that. So I'll give it another couple of goes and see.
Give it a couple of goes, and like I said, the stance changes slightly. After when we finish the call, I'll get some pictures because I do have some pictures of some people sailing in a seat harness from Greece.
Yeah.
And then I'll put two side by side and send them to you so you can see.
Yeah, I was messing with the boom because obviously I've had to lift the boom higher because I'm using longer lines because I'm using the waist harness, and the boom to start with, it felt really ridiculously high. Felt like I was just sort of hanging off it. Yeah. So I lowered it down a bit, and then my lines kept dropping out off the hook.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Inserting when I'm overpowered.
Have you got adjustable lines or fixed?
No, I bought some 28s. I think they are, because I normally use 24s with me seat harness.
I would get some adjustable ones so you can play about with it.
Right, yeah.
I did. Caroline just asked earlier, and I put some on. They're like 22 quid, I think, from Juice.
Oh, right.
They go from 24 up to 32. So they're easy to adjust. So you can adjust them on the water.
Do they slip or not? I had some years ago, and they just got longer within 10 minutes.
No, these ones are good. I've used these ones.
Oh well, I'll grab a pair of them then.
Yeah, and then you can play about with it a little bit. If it feels a little bit weird, make it a bit shorter. If you go like you've got like in one session, there's a new board, new boom height, harness line length, new harness. There's a lot of variables happening all at once.
I was trying too much, really. I know I should have just stuck with my seat harness, I think.
Yeah, like keep some things the same and just change one, get comfortable with it, and then okay, I'm gonna make the boom.
It's just because I put the longer lines on when we were at Roe Island, and I'd never taken them off the boom, and I thought, well, they're the long ones. I better use them with the waist harness. So
yeah.
Never mind. It was a nice warm day.
Yeah, but I mean, the jibe itself looks mint. Like I said, I would just look at trying to take some more speed into it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, going through it, the technique of it all, that's really nice. So the board's nice and flat, so the jibe. It starts to angle up a little bit here.
Yeah.
I think that's probably just because you've not got much power in the sail.
Possibly, yeah.
As soon as you start to lose the power, it's hard to keep forwards because the apparent wind starts to push back a little bit, and you get the feeling sort of the sail gets pushed into you.
For a minute, I did think it was going round, but then it just slowed down. And I thought, oh, here we go again.
But can you fix it by overshooting on the entrance and then loading the front hand to load the mast foot more?
Yeah, it could be done a little bit, but I think like I said, it's hard to see from here with the wind. But it really looks like you've jibed into a spot where there's not much wind at all, because the water here doesn't look very disturbed or anything. It looks very calm.
It was kind of the shadow off the land, but it was dying off. The closer I got, it was dying off, which wasn't ideal. But then on the outside, it was that choppy. I was struggling to keep the board. Every time I tried to carve, the board was just jumping over the waves, and it wasn't pretty on the outside.
It's I would, if you're overpowered, I would never sail over, but especially never learn something new overpowered is the worst thing to do. So if you are overpowered and you're trying to go for carved jibes, stop it, come in, get a smaller sail, then go back out.
Yeah.
It will always be better. Going in, trying to learn new, especially with like carved jibes, overpowered. If you're overpowered, you can never pull all the power into the sail and accelerate properly. But yeah, it's a good jibe. Like I said, a bit more speed. And think when you go in for your jibes, you think WWW. I know there's something thing that Cookie uses on YouTube, but water users is the first W. So look for other people. Make sure you've got space.
It's Allenby, there's never anybody there.
Yeah, wind. So check, look up wind, make sure there's a good gust coming. Obviously, you don't want to be overpowered, but you need power. And then number 3, water state. So look for a flat bit. Even in choppy conditions like the outside of Allenby, if you watch the water carefully, there will be flatter bits of sort of flatter areas that appear.
There's no flat bits at Allenby when it's windy.
It feels like that in a lot of places, but there'll be places where the chop sort of gets pushed out a little bit.
There maybe will be if I look hard enough.
Yeah, got to look. You got to look really hard. Right then, is Alex here? Alex is here, isn't he? I think.
You're right, Al.
Mr. Alex Monday, how are you, man?
Yeah, good. Recovering.
When was 7th of January, which was yesterday?
Yeah.
It looked good. Was it good?
Yeah, it was. It took a bit of a beating, but it was. It was well good.
You've been throwing yourself into all sorts of rotations.
Yeah, went out on the 4-2 to start with, and Ben was on 4. I think Pabs was on his 4 as well, and Ben's first run out. Just looks at him, his board's all over the place, his sails twitching all over the place. I'm thinking, what am I doing? I need to change down. But I went out anyway on the 4-2, and it was just absolutely honking. I think it was gusting about 40 knots.
Wow.
So came in, changed down to me. I was gutted because I think Sarah missed a really nice forward off the back of the wave on the way in with my 4-2 because I was so powered up. I just went whee right round, landed it, and then just carried on to the beach and then got out. I was like, right, that's it. I'm changing. Put me 3-7 on. So.
Well, I'll scroll through. Let's have a quick look at these backies.
It did. You know what you were saying before about that hand sliding back?
Yeah.
And then sheeting out at the top?
Yeah.
That seemed to make a big difference. What I've tried to do as well is not initiate the rotation with the jump, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you basically, when you jump, I was just watching, because you were talking about the micro back clips, I had a quick look through Ben Prophet's video again, and he's right when he says the wave is just it's stopping your forwards movement. All the momentum you're carrying forwards. Any more forwards momentum is bad for a back loop because it's hard to rotate backwards as you're moving forwards. So the wave is trying to get a wave that sends you up as opposed to forwards. And like you said, it then starts straight away because if you kick the rotation straight off the wave, you'll over rotate straight away. So, I mean, this is an over rotation, but it's not come straight off the wave. But yeah, here. So you're sheeting out on the takeoff, which is good. That's fine. But here now you want to start sheeting in. You're waiting too long. If you stay sheeted out, the wind will fill the sail up and it'll get whipped out your hands, which is exactly what happens here.
Okay.
You go up, sheeted out, and as you come to the apex of your jump and you start looking around, that's when you start pulling in. And then you start to fall, and you just fall in a position like that. So you pull that backhand, you slide it down, then as you come around the apex jump, you pull it in as much as you can towards you. There are some ones closer to the end of the video.
The ones at the end, I probably wasn't as powered up, so I was probably in a bit more control.
Yeah, being overpowered on backies is really difficult. Backie's a funny one because it's an easy move to go for, but it's really technical. It's really hard to land. It's like the opposite of the forward, which is quite scary to go for, but easy, not so technical. If you see Benjo's backie here, pick a wave that sends you up. When you get to the apex, if you jump, you start to come around, and then look how he's pulling the sail in now. He's lining essentially like the center line of the board and the sail are parallel to each other, so they're lining up like that. That way now, there's no wind in the sail at all, so you won't get that mad whip as you come around.
Yeah.
And then you finish the rotation in the water. That's
yeah, you
when
only do kind of like half, a 90 degree. Oh,
yeah, it's almost more. It's more like it's one between 90 and 180 degrees is done in the water.
yeah. On that back loop, the micro back loop video that I was watching that Ben Profit did, he says go for upwind distance as well.
Yeah,
when you take off.
That was quite a good.
And I noticed that on the clips of Ben, when he does it, he kind of carves off downwind and then goes straight up the face of the wind and then literally stalls at the top, turns, and then gives himself time, I guess, to do it all. Whereas it feels really quick, if that makes sense. I'm doing it still.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's that stopping that forwards momentum. So you carve up wind, and then you see Ben stops. When he stops, that's all his forward momentum done, and then he turns in the air and comes, and you just sort of drop, and then it's to drop and keep the power out of the sail. Let me just wind it on a little bit more because I think now, isn't it? The back loops start getting good. So that's like classic under rotation. We're going a bit higher, really. Nice forward. Whoa.
Yeah, the landings were pretty hard.
Yeah, nice. Looks powered up, man.
I snapped a harness line yesterday as well and got catapulted off a massive wave. It just started breaking as I went over the apex of it and just pinched the nose of the board and kind of put me into a forward rotation, just smashed me clean onto my kit. And I had a dead, smashed all my shin in. So I've been hobbling around like an old man all day, but it's getting better.
That one there, Alex, this is better. This is much better, this one. You just under rotated it slightly. You sheet it in a little bit too early. So sheeting a little bit later. Now you want to be sheeting in, and then you're here with the sail, but the backhand could be further back, and then you jab it forwards to get the gear in front of you so that you land on the back of the board.
Okay.
If you land on the side of the board, you'll just, as soon as that board hits the water, you'll want to go straight into the water next to it. You want to try and get the board under you, and by pushing it forwards, the board will come under you a little bit more, and then it's easier to land. But that's much better. And you see what I was saying earlier about keeping the center of the board and the sail are parallel to each other, so they sort of sit on top of each other. You got it on that one. There. So if you look, as you come around further, because of the angle of the sail, there's going to be almost no wind hitting it. So you'll never get that whip as you come around.
Yeah.
You sort of the board gets whipped out from under you and you go flying off the back. Is that also much better?
It did seem like towards the end of the session, the more I tried it and the more I was kind of consciously thinking hand further back, keep sheeting in, sheet out a little bit at the top.
Yeah.
Throw the rig forward. It did seem to feel like it started coming together a bit, but then the wind just died. I don't know if Pete's on. He'll literally I was watching him rigging up on the beach, and by the time he hit the water, I was walking out. I was done, and there was no wind left.
I got an hour and a half.
Was it good, Pete?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, but it did just drop like it skunked as good style. But I got a good hour and a half, and there's some big jumps. I spent too long gassing on the beach.
Classic.
I did do a vid actually, but I didn't realise I didn't put it on tonight. So, but I did do one. But yeah, Happy New Year to you all anyway.
Yeah, you too, Pete.
Yeah, mate.
Alex, what's better in this middle one? So there's the apex there, and then now here, if you look, there's again the board and the sail. They're like lined up with each other. So if the wind's coming from the right hand side, there's almost no wind hitting the sail because the sail's completely sheeted in. And then Now he starts jabbing it. You see how he's over the board now rather than next to it?
Yeah.
Does that really like push the gear towards and try and push the nose into the water in front of you so that you stay up on it? And then, like you said, you're doing like, it's probably more than 90 degrees. It's done in the water to finish it.
That's a cracking run. That middle video of Ben, that is a
So now
brilliant
forward,
run.
back
Is it-
here, isn't it?
Forward, and then is it 2 backies in a row or 3? It's all the one clip.
No way.
He's pumping his fist in the air at the back of it. He was well chuffed with that.
Is there another one?
No, I think that's it.
That's mega.
It was a really good session. You couldn't sail for long though. There was just no respite on the way out. It's always choppy in it, and any kind of swell at Freythorpe. But even on the way in, you were just working constantly.
Really?
Yeah, it was just bouncy, chop, chop, chop.
One thing I was going to say as well, if I can here. Yes. Right, imagine, so if this is our wave here, Alex, coming this way, and we are looking at the screen, so we are the wind. So the wind's coming from us going towards the screen. So if we're sailing in this direction, when you take off, so you go off your wave, you go sent up into the air. When you get to the apex of the jump and you start looking back, and then we start dropping, it's important. Again, it's like Ben said Ben Prophet said in his video, you always need to stay inside the rotation. So as you're going up, board's always on the outside, you're always on the inside. As long as you stay on the inside, you'll never get that. You remember that feeling as you come around and you over rotate and the wind fills the sail and you get that whip and the gear gets whipped out from underneath you?
Yeah.
It always happens because you come to the outside of the turn. Does that make sense?
Trying to visualize it in my head.
Yeah,
so coming along and going up
on your back loop, board's up here, board's coming up and around, and you always stay inside. The board always makes the bigger arc compared to the body.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And as long as the board always makes the bigger arc, you'll never over rotate. As soon as your body starts making big arcs, as big or bigger than the board, that's when you get that whip. Yeah.
That makes sense then. So if I'm absolutely kind of trying to twist as I'm jumping.
Yeah. So
it
comes from a lot from forcing it. So if you try and if you go off a wave and throw the gear around like that, as soon as you start throwing it, you're now on the outside of the turn. So as soon as you throw it here, so you get to here, the wind's going to fill the sail and it'll get whipped out from under you.
Yeah.
As you take off, if you just pull that sail into you as much as you can and let the board go, get up to your top and then look down, spot your landing and then jab it, the gear's always on the outside. You're always staying inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go for those micro back loops, like Ben Prophet said, hack up wind as much as you can. And then he talks about just dropping. Like what he means by dropping is just pull the sail onto you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just look back. And that's it. The micro back loops, don't try and kick it round at all. Just hand back, carve up wind, take off, look back and pull it into you. Keep it close.
Yeah.
And then when you come around, spot your landing, jab it.
Cool. Just need some more wind.
There's wind coming, I think, isn't there?
On a weekend.
On a week when you're
yeah, when I'm not away.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Oh, hang on. Yeah, I think that's everything for the videos. Yeah.
Thanks, Ollie.
No problem. Cam, that thing from Caroline there, if you want to click on that link for the adjustable harness lines. And then we'll just have a quick chat. So this post I put in the group, the goal setting one, we had quite a lot of people post into it. I'm going to keep this, is going to be pinned to the top of the group. and I'm going to keep it pinned there for the entirety of 2023 so that we can keep coming back to it. So I think quite a lot of people have posted things in, which is good. And I know Adrian Brooks, yeah, so he got one of them already. So that's the first win for the group, I think. Up down the fast attack goal. Yeah, I think he said he thinks he's cracked it today. We do need some video evidence, unfortunately. Just saying you've done it won't cut it. So Adrian, if you watch this later, we need video, mate. But yeah, so it's gonna be a nice way for us to sort of keep on track and keep each other accountable a little bit. So if you are in the chat or you watch this after and you haven't yet put a goal in, make sure you stick something in. There is in the post, I put a couple of bits, a little bit about making a good goal. So using the smart. So making a smart goal, so making sure it's specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and time bound. If anybody has any questions about any of that, you can either ask me now or you can send me a message after. But yeah, nice one, guys. So if you haven't yet put a goal in, stick it in.
My goal has been the same for several years, so I haven't put them here.
What's the goal, Pavel?
It's a Vulcan and 4 spin loop.
1 Vulcan and 1 speed loop.
Yeah, but not one. But I want to land or real Vulcans, not so with good slide.
Yeah.
And a spin loop. So I've tried the spin loops for several years, but I'm doing things wrong. Something. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying it from time to time, but I've dropped spin loops for the Vulcan now and trying doing this.
Try both. So do one run you try Vulcan, the next one you try a spin loop, and then bounce between the two. But give yourself some small goals as well, Pavel. Don't that's quite. I mean, like learning to Vulcan, so get consistent with Vulcans and land a spin loop. They're pretty big goals. To break it down a little bit, so maybe it's okay. This session, I'm going to try 5 spin loops, and I'm going to try 10 Vulcans. Yeah,
and then
you have the lead. Then the goal evolves into something a bit more. So okay, I'm going to try 20 Vulcans. And the next one, I'm going to try 10 spin loops. Then the next one, I land 1 Vulcan, and I want to rotate a little bit around a spin loop.
But when I did 5 trials or 10, then what I do the rest of the session then?
Then you can have fun for the rest of the session.
Okay. Okay.
It's important. I mean, like goals also, like I know, like for example, I'd love to be able to do a push forward. Yeah, so push loop into forward loop all in one go. And I'm sure most people would like to do that. But realistically, I haven't got the time or the conditions in the UK to go and learn it, especially within sort of 6 months. Maybe I could have that as a goal for the next 5 years, but in the next 6 months, it's not realistic, really. Yeah. So for you also, make sure it stays. Don't go. I mean, it's nice to dream big and stuff, but if you have these goals that you're never going to achieve, it can be a little bit sort of what the word is. It can be
more realistic.
Moralizing, yeah. So like small goals that lead to a big one, not just one big goal. Yeah. Okay. So for example, for a push loop forward, okay, I can forward loop, but I need to learn to push loop. Yeah. And then I need to learn to do really big push loops. And then I need to learn to push forward eventually. Yeah.
Pavel, what progress have you? Oh, sorry, not progress. What method have you used to try and do spin loops? Have you done that thing that people try, go in the Weimaru and all that method?
I've tried, I think, almost all of them. So what was I able to find in the books or on the internet. So I tried this with from gybing, that you jibe extremely hard, and just to get better feel for the sail. I've tried this jumping or catapulting myself, but without the board. So I get how to come around in spin loop without the board. And when I try with the board, then I normally get wiped out, or the board stays and I fly around. So I have timing issue, I assume, because I'm jumping or I'm shitting in the sail too early. I assume I'm not out of the water, and I try to shit in, and then I will be just thrown out of the footstraps, and then I only rotate myself with a sail. And I've tried it also in Carpathos in heavy winds with 3.5 sail. And then I was just thrown out of the board and I fly alone. And the equipment just stay some 10 meters behind me. So I did the spin loop, but only myself without equipment.
It's you, yeah.
Sounds like
So I'm missing something I don't understand. I don't know what it is, but
Pavel, in the last, let's say 5 sessions you've done windsurfing, how many attempts have you had?
for spin loop, none.
There we go. Well, that's the first problem. If you don't try it, you won't learn it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to understand Vulcan now, so I'm concentrating on this.
Yeah, but it's good. I think it's good also to learn a couple of moves. Don't just learn one. Because if you just learn one, you can get tied up in your own thoughts quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's good if you maybe take it or do it session. So like this session, I'm going to do Vulcans, but next session, I'm going to concentrate just on spin loops. And then when you come back to the Vulcans, maybe you come with a fresh thought, or you know.
Yeah.
Then I know I have the problem with learning the flacker. It took me ages because I was trying it every session, doing the same thing and not stepping back from it. And then I went and I had a couple of sessions when the wind was lighter and just did some like free riding. So going on blasting on big gear, not thinking about the flacker, came back to the flacker and I landed it in 2 or 3 sessions, just from thinking about it from a different angle. Yeah.
Well, you gave me some tips now about back foot. I can try to figure this out. Perhaps this helps. Yeah. I can do it some 10 attempts with the Vulcan and 10 attempts with the speed loop.
Yeah.
And then we see
or even for the minute, just try 1.
Yeah.
And that's progress already. And then the next session, try 2.
Okay.
Because like it's at the spin loop, it's not a technical move, but it is quite scary is probably the word, to be honest. But we've always been told throughout windsurfing not to catapult ourselves, because otherwise we're going to get pulled over the front, and then we're going to do exactly what we've been told not to do.
I don't think I have this problem, because I was catapulting myself plenty of times, but I'm always missing the board. So I have a problem to keep the board on my feet when I'm in the air, when I'm doing this. So
with your feet like that in the foot straps.
I don't know. I understand what you are saying, but I don't know. Everything happens so quickly that I don't know.
Practice doing it. Do that before you do your Vulcans as well. Yeah, you get into the habit of doing it before you do everything.
Yeah.
Pull yourself into the straps a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Pavel, then goal for next session: try 1 forward loop.
Yeah. Well, forward, I will not try because I don't have waves, but I will try spin loop.
Yeah, spin loop, forward loop. Yeah.
From flat. I have only flat water here in my neighborhood, so.
Yeah. Watch some videos. Ask for some tips.
Yeah, I've asked, and I've asked trainers, and I have whatever, but I don't know, something I'm doing wrong. I don't understand. But this is probably the same with me with the Vulcans. Also, I have to investigate and study it for years, and I perhaps understand it one day. From time to time, I'm getting Vulcans at least, so I'm happy with this. But
no, it's good. It's really good.
How good are you at jumping, Pavel?
Oh, I like jumping very much. But it's only jumping when I get the gear under me and then the sail on me. So it's very fun for me. And long and high jumps are very, very fun. Yeah.
No, but I mean, off on the flat water. I just wonder. I'm only just starting the same process as you, but I'm going to try and make sure that I can really. Well, I suppose the video proved before I'm not doing it very well, but surely you've got to be comfortable jumping before you can. On flat water, or is that not true, Ollie?
I'm not sure.
I mean, Pavel, I'm sure, doesn't have a problem with jumping, so I don't think that's the problem.
I'm not saying he's got a problem. I just wondered whether that was something he was super confident in, like getting loads.
Yeah, no, I think he is, and like for example, Pete is. I think Pete's here.
Me.
Yeah, Pete, you're also like a comfortable jumper, but as soon as there's another like aspect involved, it's hard to get timing. Timing can be quite hard to get when you're learning.
Right.
So it's not actually the jumping's the problem. It's just jumping at the right time. So getting the board up into the air before you initiate the rotation, like Pavel says, which is very common, is you start rotating before you've jumped, and the board just sticks to the water, and you get sent out the front.
Yeah,
I'm sure Pete's probably had a couple of crashes like that.
Oh, plenty.
You go, but the gear doesn't.
What's the difference between the spin loop and the flacker?
Flacker's like an upwind 360 in the air.
Right.
Spin loop is there. Spin loops is a flat water version of the forward loop, Pete.
Right, got you. So should my goals be a flacker and then the forward?
No. You're going flacker's like a helitack type thing. It's different move completely. For you, Pete, forward loops.
Oh, thanks.
What is Ollie?
Forward loop, spin loop, call it what you like. It's the same.
Is there a kind of mediocre freestyle equivalent to the a flacker is an upwind 360, but you jump into it essentially, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, so is there an equivalent to the kind of moves you do for a spin loop? You're like catapulting yourself round.
You do light wind forward loops, so you just catapult yourself.
But there isn't a freestyle move that
you can. This you can do it with this kind of jibe.
Yeah.
You stop the straps all the time, but you do kind of radical jibe, and then you throw the same, and you try to stay with your head under the backhand,
right?
And then you rotate and try to take board with you. So, but I've tried this also. I mean, I do it, but then when I'm on the water, then I just send myself out, but the board stays in the water. I don't know whether it's a timing issue or something. I don't know.
I mean,
but one thing, perhaps, Matti, to the jumping from the wave or from the chop is different. I mean, to the jumping when you are doing Vulcan or doing forward, or speed loop, because you need to jump from over the board and not from outside the board. So it's a little bit different, I think.
Okay.
You need to stay more over the board.
The spin loop and the Vulcan, the jumping would be the same.
Yeah, but yes. Hey.
Forward loop, I mean, you're jumping off a wave, so you don't necessarily, like when you're learning, you don't actually need to jump at all, really. You just go into a wave fast.
But compared to normal jump, when you just jump from the wave or from something, so you are outside of the board, not over the center of the board, are you?
No, I would still be over the board, definitely.
Also to regular jump, not forward.
Vulcan, you want to be over the board, spin loop, over the board, forward loop, over the board.
Yeah, but all for this looping, but for regular jump, you just jump, you just jump, nothing more.
Yeah, I would still generally be over the board, really.
Okay.
And then the board gets pushed out in front of you as you jump. So you jump, you take off, you push the board up, so you start floating down, and then you pull the board back under you. But you should never be off the side of the board. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
If you're too off the side, when you land, you'll just spin out, and you'll fly. The gear will spin off away from you.
When I'm jumping just on a small chop or something, then I'm a little bit out of the center. I'm not exactly on the center as I am on for the Vulcan first. And I have heard that you have to be more on the center when you go do the forward or the spin loop and when you do Vulcan, but not for a regular jump.
I found doing like tail grabs and stuff like that helped get my weight over the board.
Yeah.
Even on flat water. Helped confidence as well with jumping.
Telegraphs, what it is?
Yeah, so drop like your backhand. Keep in the harness, drop your backhand, and then when you jump, obviously keep both hands on the boom as you take off, grab your tail or grab the back of the board with your backhand.
Okay.
And then land. And then as you progress, drop your front hand. Just try it with your front hand because it teaches you sail control as well in the air.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Alex. I've heard a couple of people talk about that. And,
I found as well when you drop in a hand with the front loop, because the thing that broke it for me, if that makes sense, is to throw the rig really far forward and upwards as you're going to initiate the jump. So dropping the backhand and kind of jumping like that, as if you were going to do a tail grab, helped a lot.
Yeah.
With rig position, confidence, and then literally the only extra thing you've got to do when you're in the air is just rake it round as hard as you can and initiate the rotation.
Getting this with the front hand, pushing the sail across the board, but also up into the air. That's especially important on a spin loop. So you get enough clearance from especially if you get off flat water.
You find as well that you pop really high.
Exactly.
As well.
Doing that, it'll pull the nose of the board up into the air. And then as you start rotating, you'll get pulled up to the equipment, as opposed to just going, if you go just like that from nothing and just pull, you'll just accelerate down into the water.
Yeah. But when you are starting pulling down with your backhand.
So you go, as you jump, as you take off, so you push the sail across the board and up into the air.
Yeah, but how you know that you are in the air and when to start pulling with the backhand?
I mean, if you're going off a wave, you just watch the wave, and as you take off the wave, you push up into the air. But if not, you do it as you're popping. So as you push into the back leg, you would on a Vulcan. As you push into the back leg, the nose starts to lift. As the nose starts lifting, you start pushing up and across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, this part is okay, but then when to start pulling in with backhand?
As soon as you're fully stretched out, you stretch out as much as you can, then you pull. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or you can stretch out. As you pull, the more you'll get lifted up into the gear. The more height you get. The less you stretch, as you pull, the more you're going to go down.
Yeah.
So the more up you can go, the more it'll pull you up to the equipment.
Yeah. Okay.
If you watch any freestylers do a forward on flat water, before they go for it, if you can pause it at this point, they'll be really stretched out to get the gear, get the sail up and the boom up as high as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
On flat water, I usually start sheeting in at the point where I'd start tucking my back leg up.
Yeah.
But how you know when to start pulling in your back foot? Well, how you know how do you feel that the fin is out of the water?
The fin still wouldn't be out the water yet. It's not until you start pulling you pull the back of the board up and out the water, just like you would on a Vulcan.
Okay.
It's the same. It's a pop, like it is on a Vulcan. So the jumping happens over the same span of time, same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And like Alex said, it's this movement of up and across. Backhand comes down, and then as you pull with the backhand, you simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have heard this theory several times, so I know it, but I cannot do it.
So Pavel, a video of one forward loop attempt.
Yeah, it will be the next time I get wind here down here in Norway.
Don't get hyper. Make sure your zip stack done up.
And ice has to be gone. So
yeah, great stuff. There we go. All done. Anybody got any questions?
What have you got planned for the The clinics and stuff.
Clinics I'll announce them probably this week. The website's almost finished. I've got a proper website, not just a landing page, which is almost done. All the clinics can be on there, so it'll be announced at the same time that gets released. But it's probably gonna be about 2 a month through February, March, and April, and we'll go different spots each time. So 6 different spots.
Cool.
You guaranteeing wind?
Yeah, of course. I'm guaranteeing no wind. I'll do my best, Cam.
Good.
Yeah. So as soon as they're announced, I'll send an email out in the newsletter, and then I'll put it in here as well, so that you don't miss it. But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
Cool stuff, guys. Is anybody windsurfing this week?
Tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah, you have to face up tomorrow, Pete.
Yeah, it's a westerly. It's a bit iffy though, isn't it? So I'll take my big gear and my future, and at least there should be some flat water blasting.
Yeah.
Friday, hopefully. I think.
Friday, Mike.
I hope so. Yeah, if it keeps up, Friday the 13th.
Looks all right.
It's like Friday.
That's Friday. Looks windy enough for you.
You got a 2 meter sail, Mike.
You might. That was exactly the same. That was exactly the same forecast as when I came to West Kirby last week.
Oh, is that gusts?
Yeah, this is gusts.
Oh,
yeah.
right. I was going to say.
So about 19 miles an hour with some gusts.
17 to 30.
It'll all be changed by the end of the week.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of wind kicking it. It looks like England so far this winter has been pretty good for wind.
Yeah.
There's been a lot, especially if you've been anywhere on the west coast.
And it's not very cold, to be honest, compared to normal.
No, it's not at all.
Not cold at all, no. I keep putting all my winter stuff on and boiling within half an hour.
Yeah, me too.
It's not bad at all, is it? I mean, it's getting colder now, though, isn't it? 7 degrees. Yeah.
What does Sunday look like down at West Kirby?
Sunday.
Is that too far ahead? Too far ahead, isn't it?
I don't know what's that direction like, Matty. I guess you're going sideways, aren't you?
Not great. It's good on the. It'd be depend. You could go on the tide. It'd be good on the tide because you'd be going all the way across. But
Friday, the tide's 2:30, so it'll be about.
How high is it though?
Sunday, it'll be about 3:30, I would think.
Is it? It has to be about over 9 meters, doesn't it?
You might be better off a pier, Clive, I think.
Yeah, rower.
Rower.
Oh, not in that direction.
Is that the direction it doesn't work in?
No, not really. I mean, you could go across the channel and back. It'd be a bit lumpy and bumpy. You'd be better. You're much better on a southwesterly there.
Has anybody sailed at Fleetwood?
No, I've not.
No.
Just seen a video on YouTube the other day and it looked good. You get
inland tomorrow.
Yeah, Caroline.
Tomorrow, inland. Finally got a westerly.
Yeah, it should be good. Like, whereabouts are you? Which lake do you say that?
MZ.
It's near Grimwith, isn't it?
It's just below, yeah.
Yeah, that should be good there. It'd be a bit chilly.
Very chilly. Got lots of water. Got lots of water up my nose the other day.
Yeah.
It was a bit gusty. I think it went last week sometime.
Yeah. That's good. It should be really good because it's perfect west, isn't it? It's good on the lakes up in there.
I'm so happy. It's been too many southerlies.
Yeah. Yeah, the southerlies don't work. So what do they work like at Elmsley? Is it no good there either?
They're rubbish.
Yeah, it's the same. It's not very good at Grimwith either in a southerly.
No.
It's good at Frays.
Yeah, Freythorpe's a good spot. Freythorpe's good at everything apart from the east.
It's too far. Too far.
Yeah.
20 minutes up the road. Yeah.
Well, that's same as me for Freythorpe. I'm 20 minutes. It's too far for Grimwith or Emsey for me, really. But yeah.
That scary sea. Woo-hoo.
Alex, you working Sunday?
No.
That could be the day. Northerly.
too far ahead. You're
Yeah,
too optimistic.
That'll be 5 mile an hour and
Yeah.
southerly by the Sunday. That'll guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
12 hours in advance. That's all we work off.
12 hours, yeah.
Ollie's planning a clinic, I think, that day.
Yeah. Well, that's like the last, just like the last clinic, Mike. It's windy up until the day before, and then it just disappears. But, right, nice one, guys. Well,
Okay.
I'll end it there. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Hope we got some good takeaways from it. And Pavel, forward loops, anybody else, get some videos in. If you've not written down your goals yet, get the goals written down. And I will see you all next week.
Good stuff.
Cheers,
Thank
Ollie.
you.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.